I'm going to show you how I would make their profile more attractive for when I send an email. And then I'm also going to show you, even though I only added these businesses about 3 weeks ago, I'm already starting to get traffic from them. And even though about I think a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I submitted the sitemap, it hasn't updated to say that any of these businesses are indexed yet, but I'm already getting traffic from SEO, just from search, to my listings, and it's actually really impressive considering it took me all of an hour, 2 hours to set all this up. But let's go ahead and add an image for this business and add a business description. So before this, I've got this little chart of what we're doing here. Before this, I had submitted my sitemap on Google Search Console, and as you can see, I submitted it back on December 7th. Or sorry, that's the second time I submitted it. There was an error after like a week. It's discovered 642 pages. All of that, again, I didn't have to do anything. It just kind of, the sitemap is out of the box as well. But if you'll notice, if I actually click on pages here to see what's indexed, it's only showing one, which is definitely not true, but it's only giving me an update from Friday, November 21st. So I think that was like the Friday right after Thanksgiving, maybe. It's obviously been quite a bit of time since then. So let me show you what our actual results are so far, just when we're talking about SEO. Again, not the mainstay of this, but something that makes it more attractive. So when you're talking to people about how your directory site can help them, then you actually have something to point to where it's bringing in traffic. So again, it's saying it's not even indexed, but we're clearly seeing some pretty good results just from the last couple weeks, because our average position is 22.1. And if I scroll down here, usually the queries, I don't know if you know too much about Google Search Console. This is kind of where you look for all the traffic, especially from SEO, and it's going to give you some information about what queries people are using. Now, it's not as robust as, say, Google Analytics or GA4 you'll sometimes hear, but it's often a lot easier to navigate and really helpful for just this use case. So if I scroll down, and if I unselect average position, I won't see that anymore and I won't have that column, but I do want to look at that. So I'm going to click that. I scroll down and I see some of the queries where any page on my directory would have popped up. This is usually not the best tab, and that's because it just, more often than not, the queries don't show. So here you only show one click, and we show the average position is 53.6. But if I click pages, this will tell me a lot of the information I actually need to know anyway, especially with a directory site. Because and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit for you. If I actually look to what these pages are, so I'm going to try not to hover over it so you can actually see. Then I've got the detail page for US Tow Texas Inc. right above where my cursor is. I have the detail page for Mr. Roofing Gutters Austin. So I can see which pages are showing up, and that gives me a pretty good indication, again, because this is a local directory, of what is actually showing up in search. And then if I go over to this right column, you can see clicks, impressions, position. I can see which ones are showing up really, really well. Now, one thing that I noticed, because I looked at this before hopping on this call, some of these seem like they're showing up because this business doesn't have a website. So you want to keep that in the back of your mind. So if I click on, actually, I think this place does have a website. Let's go ahead and open it up. So this is my page, and then I have a link to their website. So if I click to visit the website, they do have a website. They are showing up pretty well. They've actually claimed their business. So I think that's one thing that's helpful too, is the association's already there. So we can definitely let them know. But if I look at, I think, Mr. Roofing Gutter, I'm going to open this one, and then High Country Market. I want to say this is another one. And I'm going to click their website. I think this one's just a really outdated website, if I'm not mistaken. While that opens up, let's go ahead and click this other one. Yeah, that's taken a little time. There we go. This is the one that's really outdated. So here I could see another, just from looking again, I could say, oh, well, you are getting traffic from us, but maybe it's time for an update on your website. So I just want to keep that in the back of my mind. That's not the focus of this, but just showing you what you can learn even from Search Console already. yeah, in this, the website's not found. So we can reach out to them, see if it's the right website, and just having our directory listing them is a really good excuse to do that. I can double check. We may not have reached out to them yet, but I have all that data. Again, not the focus of this one. I have a couple other live streams where I walk through all the messages that we send people just to let them know that their listing is live and to check and see that all the details are correct. I would want to make sure that they've received that email. But let's hop on. So we're looking at our performance now. We can see that we have, even though supposedly these pages aren't indexed, we've received 18 total clicks here. Again, not a crazy amount, but we've only indexed this in the past couple weeks. And if I click on, let's say I'm going to copy this URL to the clipboard and I'm going to search it up here, and I'm just going to see whether or not it's indexed. It's saying it's on Google. It's saying it is indexed. So bear that in mind, because when we went over to pages here, it's saying only one page is indexed, and if we view the data on it, it's just saying it's our main site page. So sometimes, even though pages are indexed, it's not going to show in Google Search Console. I just want to make sure that you can see that. Let's zoom out a little bit there. All right, so let's go ahead to make Tumble 22, our Texas chicken joint, a little bit more attractive, and I can show you how in about 5 minutes, if we want to reach out to them in particular, we could make their listing look a little bit better and then potentially advocate to sell them a premium listing or let them know about our services. So I'm going to open up their site, and I'm going to go back to their Google profile. And let's put Round Rock. Oops. Let's put Round Rock because that's the location where we are. And now if I look at their Google Maps, I can go ahead and I'm going to save one of their images there. And I'm just going to upload that. Let's do that on a different screen. Sorry if anyone's really hungry now, probably don't want to look at fried chicken. They are really good. So I'm going to open this up. We can see in just 1 second here. I think I can upload. Let me find Tumble 22. So I search for their location, and I'm going to actually go ahead and click to edit it. And what I want to do is see if I can upload something that's not a PNG. That's the real question here. So what was it? I think it's unnamed WebP. Well, it looks like I can, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to hit apply crop. And image uploaded successfully. So this is their profile image. Now I'm just going to upload the same one for their cover image. You would probably want to find a separate one, but it's not necessary there. Because again, this is just for us to showcase their restaurant a little better and give them some reason to come and get a premium listing maybe, or just engage with us. All right, so now what do I want to put for the business description? I actually went ahead and I cheated. And so I've done local SEO quite a bit, but I always like asking AI what works best because it's going to tell us. So if I'm looking at, let's go ahead and just add this. What would be a good structure for my business description? In particular, I want you to create a business description optimized for search for Tumble 22 in Round Rock, Texas. So let's see what it comes up with. So I'm going to copy and paste this, and then I'm just going to remove some of this. So I'm not going to put the hours of operation because we have fields there. I'm going to take this summary and I'm going to copy it over. And I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup. And you can see that the headings did carry through. So this is heading 3. I'm going to make it a heading 2. You don't need to worry too much about that. But I like doing it. And then again, we're going to, and this is just slightly better markup. That's the main reason why I'm doing it. It's not the end of the world because everything now can read websites really well, LLMs, and even Google was far ahead prior to the big switch to using more large language model or using AI SEO or large language models for search. But this is still really helpful having this kind of like having everything arranged more easily than just like plastered on a web page makes it much quicker for AI, for Google, for anyone to search through it. So you still want to take the time and just use good headings, use a heading 2 where there's an appropriate place for it. It's just markup that tells any of those search engines a little bit more about the structure in a slightly quicker glance because they have to search through so much text and they do this whole thing called tokenization. I'm not going to get into it, but if they don't have to search through a bunch of text, if it's really, really easy for them, it's better. So I'm just going to hit up, I'm going to also link to their Google Business Profile because that's right here. And you can do that by clicking share and just copy that link. And what I like to do, I'm going to show you this little fun secret. So I'm going to paste that link. I like to add what's called a UTM parameter, and all it is, you got a question mark at the end, UTM, and then source, and I'm going to say, I'm going to say my business name here, Round Rock Businesses. I'm not sure if I should put the website. I'm just going to put it as that, Round Rock Businesses, which is my website, my directory name. And then I'm going to go ahead and say medium equals organic. And that's just so, sorry, I need to put UTM medium. Those are just what are called UTM parameters. You don't need to know too much about them. You don't even really need to add them. But basically, if someone on their team is looking at analytics, they'll be able to see when someone clicks on the link from our site to their Google profile or to their website itself. So we're going to add the same UTM parameters to their website. And again, this is just little SEO stuff that's going to help. I'm not worried about that. Let's hit, where's their website? Let's do it there. You have to make sure you have that question mark. Now, if there are already other UTM params for some reason, you have to do an and sign between them. But you can Google all that. We're not going to worry too much about it. It's just a little extra I like to do. I'm going to hit update. Data updated successfully. So let's go ahead and go to the right tab. Let's do a refresh. There we go. Everything, it's going to, I know I'm lagging a little bit there. There we go. Now you can see the image. So you can see everything that we put in here. And if I were to go to my little detailed SEO extension, which you can see, I think in a second, pop in here, it's going to have those headings, and it's just going to show a little bit more information, a little bit better structure. These H3s, they might be left over from me not deleting something, so we'll just quickly, yeah, it's like a space that I didn't delete, so I'm going to delete that. Do an enter. There we go. So I'm just going to clean these up. That one's good. I think we got that one. I think we got that one. So this is just me being way too involved here. All right. So we just kind of showed really quickly how you can update a business page in all of 5 minutes. So if I message them in particular, it's going to be more attractive. The other thing too, if I go to American food here, and then I click over, because they're on page 2, you can see I updated both their cover photo and also their, I think we call it the profile image as well. So really good stuff, mostly just to make people a little bit happier when you reach out to them and they see their site. They're more engaged about it. And let's go ahead and now, like I said, we covered this point where it's not showing the pages indexed, even though they clearly are. We're able to look and find, just from what's showing up in search already, good opportunities that we can reach out to, because we can tell them, hey, we're already getting traffic for you. Why don't you enhance your listing? And then if we see that their website is iffy, like, no, this was the good one. Like one of the other ones that we looked at for, I think it was, yeah, for these guys, then we can reach out to them and say, hey, would you like a new website? And we can make that and GoHighLevel as well, especially because this is really hard text to read. They do have a little chat widget here, so we could play around with that, see if they want an AI agent, if this is not one, but I'm not going to mess around with that. I don't want to get in their inbox and, they're, make them think it's a lead when it's not. All right, so what can we do? What else can we do? So, whether you're using Smart Directory AI, which is what I'm showing you how to use, where it's out of the box, 99% set up for you, an hour to 2 hours to set up the rest. And it takes care of all your outreach, or you're doing it yourself. A lot of these tips are going to carry through. So I'm going to show you something where I'm going to show you the specifics of how to do it with Smart Directory AI and GoHighLevel, but you want to do it no matter what directory you're using. And so this is another thing that, especially with LLMs, is really important. And that's going to be building an FAQ page. So I'm going to take a little sip of water, apologize. So as you probably have figured out by now, if you're worried about AEO, or agentic engine optimization, LLM SEO, AI SEO, GEO, whatever you want to call it, and even just Google, whenever they're pulling resources, they tend to be pulling for question and answer format and things that are highly optimized to provide details. LLMs can just sort through that really, really well, kind of like we just talked about. So the reason we're building an FAQ page is we're going to take advantage of this. Now on my directory site, because it's for Round Rock, Texas, I'm going to create something that's not just like a traditional FAQ page where I've got a lot of random questions. It's going to be a guide for how to pick a certain kind of service, so like an electrician, a plumber, in Round Rock, Texas. So let's just real quick think about a couple of the things that we want to factor in. Now, of course, you're going to want to prompt AI and get some of this information yourself. But you want to factor in things like, are we, let's say it's a plumber, do we have hard water or soft water? How do you know if you have hard water or soft water? What are some of the issues that you might need to call a plumber for? Where can you find an emergency plumber? Do plumbers work on weekends? So like you can already, if you just kind of think for a second, especially if you're a homeowner or you've been in an apartment and have ever had some plumbing issues, what kinds of questions might be there? Of course, we're going to use ChatGPT to help us, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you want to use there. And it actually came up with a couple of suggestions earlier on when I was just mapping this out that I wanted to show you. So let's go. Oh no, where are we? Let me find the guide section on here. Oh, there we go. Include contextual, helpful guides content. So how to choose a plumber in Round Rock. Best dentist for families in Round Rock. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Sorry about that. What to check when hiring HVAC repair near Round Rock. So all of these are really good ideas, especially I think Best Dentist is okay. But I think how to choose a plumber and what to check when hiring HVAC are particularly good because those are things that might be more dependent upon the local area. So, and when like Best Dentist obviously would be dependent upon the local area, but at that point you're just kind of listing different dental practices. I want to go the other route. And like granted, you could do Best Dentist, you could list the dental practices, but I want to go another route where we can actually put in information about like good FAQs that people might ask when they're searching for HVAC or something like that. I think I have just mostly roofers on here, so I'm gonna copy this. I want to create a guide for, for SEO to fulfill this. But I want to focus on roofers. Could you help me to do that? All right, so let's see what it comes up with, and then I'll show you exactly how we do this with Smart Directory AI specifically in GoHighLevel. But again, it's going to be something you can copy to wherever you are. And you know what? I've not even checked chat. So, and if you do have questions, pop them in chat. I will try to be good about checking it. All right, cool. So it's giving us the best overall structure again for AI. Fully written guide to alternative guide topics to publish next. I don't need those. So let's, all right, interesting. Oh, that's just telling me what it is. Okay, I was like, that's not really a whole lot of information, but that's why. All right, so the full guide, how to choose a roofer in Round Rock, Texas. Let's skim this really quickly. Comparing written estimates. We mentioned hail, heat, seasonal storms, asphalt shingle repair, storm damage, insurance claims. A lot of this makes sense. Choose a roofer. So Wilco is Williams County, which is where Round Rock is located. So that's a good local mention. Unique weather patterns. I think everywhere says they have unique weather patterns, but we're just going to go with it. All of this looks pretty good. So now I'm going to show you exactly how you would do this if you're using Smart Directory. And like I said, you can use whatever you want. The basis is going to be the same. You're just going to have to bear with me for about 2 minutes here because the specifics are going to apply only to Smart Directory for the next 2 minutes. So if I go to branding and then I go to edit, so this is again where I like uploaded everything. So that allowed me to customize the site itself. Move this over. So if I go to edit and I go to this number 3 where it has pages, now I can add a new page to the header or to the footer. I'm going to add this to the footer. And there are a couple reasons to do that. One, because I do want this page to have a prominent link to it. It's going to be good. And I also, it's not so important that it needs to be at the top with the in the header, like the rest of our like navigation for home, dining, services, retail. It doesn't need to be there, but it should be somewhere on the main page because this is something that we're going to use to help get those businesses a little bit more SEO juice. So you'll see what popped up here, and I don't know if you can see, oh, my pen is moving too slowly. So the this gives me the ability to enable selector. Now, if I click this, I have to select a funnel, which in GoHighLevel is kind of like equivalent to pages, but there's more of an order to them, and they're more for like really for guiding someone down a sales process. So I will want to select this, but for now I don't have the funnel built. So before I even really do this, because right now I could just create a new page and let's just say, let's copy and paste from my little AI here. Let's do, I like this, full guide, how to choose a roofer in Round Rock, Texas. I can do this, I can hit add, but it's not really connected to anything. So right now, if I refresh, which I'm going to do, I scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to zoom in because I think you can see this full guide, how to choose a roofer in Round Rock, Texas. Page not found because we haven't created it yet. So I'm going to create that little funnel for you. And then we're going to not have to worry too much about whether or not the page is there because it'll be there. So I'm going to go to funnels, and I'm just going to create a new funnel, and I'm going to do it from blank. So I hit create. Oh, I need to name it. And I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm going to paste that exact same name, full guide, how to choose a roofer in Round Rock, Texas. And I'm going to add a new step. Now, again, I'm creating this from blank just because I want to show you everything. This is also going to be more applicable if you're creating your directory site on something else, because once we get to the actual page itself, the mechanisms are going to be similar enough to any like web page builder. So the name for the page, I'm going to, again, copy and paste that same thing. The path. So the path is going to be the URL, what's at the end, right after roundrockbusinesses.com, if that's in my URL, this slash page, and then the slash, and then everything after it, that's the path. So I am actually going to, I think I'm just going to copy and paste that whole thing. I'm pretty sure that's the right way to do it. So let's see. Oops. All right. And I don't need this. We don't need to worry about this third thing for importing because we don't have ClickFunnels or anything. Well, that I hit click create funnel step. Now, if I had something, I could use existing. I don't. I'm going to create from blank. For now, I'm not going to explain that screen, but once we get back to it, I will. These are all pre-built sections. So right now, this is my page. It is entirely blank, but let me do, I think if I do a refresh, it'll just show, no, the page not found because it's not hooked up yet to the domain. But I'm going to go here on my, make sure, yeah, I'm going to zoom in real tight for you. So I'm going to go to pre-built sections. And I'm going to drag, I think, about 3 or 4 of these in here. So I can click through all of these. I've got FAQs, I've got for who, I've got all these pre-built sections, which I can just modify the content in, but it makes it really easy to create a page without having to do a whole lot of work. And I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to hit welcome. And I can scroll through all of these different options. And I'm going to make it really, really easy because this is kind of like, now this is a blog type page and I could just make a blog post on here. I'm going to go to, let's go here, and so I've selected this. I'm going to drag it over because I'm zoomed in so much, it makes it a little bit harder to see there. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit. I'm going to just close it so you can see. We dragged it over, logo here. I'm going to select an image that I already have, and I've got Round Rock Businesses. I think this one might be good. So let's insert media. Well, it doesn't really work well on that background. That's all right. We're going to change the background image anyway. So this background image, instead of going to my media, I'm going to go to Unsplash, and I'm just going to search for small town, Texas. Let's see if anything comes up here. This is pretty good because there are a lot of water towers. So, and I don't know that I want snow. Let's see if that works. It might not fulfill. All right. Oh, it has the name. All right. Let's just go to Google and do an image search here. Round Rock, Texas. Images. And, oh, you know what? Let's do a roofing repair. So let's search usage rights. I want to make sure that I can use it. So I'm just going, so I'm clicking through tools, and I went to usage rights, and I went to commercial and other licenses, which just means I don't need to worry about taking this image and not being allowed to use it. And I'm just going to go ahead and take this one, and I'm going to save the image as images. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And now that I've got it, let's go ahead and replace it. So we go here, I'm gonna go to upload, and I'm gonna select images. Cool. Click on it, hit insert media, and that looks not so great. That one's way too small. So let's go ahead and just do an unsplash one. Sorry, I thought that was a good size image. I should have checked it. Let's do roofing. All right, good enough. This looks good. All the unsplash ones we know we're allowed to use. So, and we're gonna copy and paste the, let's see if we still have it saved. Nope. Let's copy and paste that name, which, trying to find the right tab, there we go. Full guide, how to choose a roofer in Round Rock, Texas. Copy and paste that in. And that looks pretty good. We're going to change the font. We'll leave the font color as white for now, but I am going to change the background of this section. So I go to styles and let's go to general. And the background color, I'm going to make it like a, let's do a black, but we're going to, let's make it a lighter gray. And let's change the text color from this kind of lighter gray to a black. Oof, that looks bad. All right, we'll keep it at white. All right, so you probably want to play with this a little bit more, but we're gonna kind of like leave that. We're gonna delete these buttons here. And now we're gonna add a couple more sections really quickly. So we go to add elements, this little like plus over here. We're gonna add a pre-built section, which is just gonna be our, let's do, actually, we're not going to add another pre-built section. I don't think we need another. We're just going to add a section. We're going to add a full width section. We're just going to drag it below. And then we're going to click in here, and we're just going to add one column. And we're going to scroll down. And let's see where the, looking for the rich text. There we go, rich text, I passed by it. All right, so now that we're in rich text, this is where you can, this is kind of like a Google Doc almost, in that you can type your header, you can have paragraphs, you can have all that other stuff. I'm just gonna copy and paste for demonstration purposes exactly what this wrote for us, and then we'll walk through a couple of really cool things that we can do. All right, and this, look, this is, ChatGPT is even giving us recommendations for more roofing content. I'm not gonna worry about that for now though. So if I just select all of this and paste it, we can look in here, we can see everything is in there just as we want. We can hit preview, and that's gonna open up a new window where this is live, more or less, and that it's on a website, but it's just not connected to our domain right now. And you can actually look exactly what it will look like if we were to just publish it. And what I'm gonna do is just one more major change here is, now I'm actually not gonna show you SEO titles and meta descriptions in this one because I have shown that previously. But where you would do that is in this, this SEO metadata up here. You can change the title and the content. So let me, I'm just gonna put the guide title up here. Let's do, can you give me the SEO title and description? So there's our SEO title. We'll just copy that in, and then we will go ahead and copy in the description as well. Now, Google and AI will often just do their own description, whether you have one or not. Sometimes they'll just replace it even if you have it, but you can update it, and it's not going to hurt anything. They just might supply something that's more appropriate for the search or for whoever's looking for the information. And so I'm not going to worry too much about structuring this or anything else. You can walk through a lot of that. This is pretty good structure. If you wanted to link and have a table of contents, you could do that, but we're not going to worry too much about it. The main thing we want to do here, we're going to save. Now I need to connect my domain. So this is, again, more specific to Smart Directory AI. And if I were to connect my domain, I go to GoHighLevel, and I could do it that way. Alternatively, I'm not going to show that portion right now because I think I might have to change my MX, or not my MX, my records on the DNS server. So like on Cloudflare and my like actual host. So I don't want to do that right now. But let's see. Yeah, because I would have to add the records manually. So I'm not going to show you the domain connection portion. What I will do instead is, for now, I'm going to hit, I'm just going to hit publish and use this domain that they have. Yeah, and they're going to make me connect it. So I won't be able to show you this one live just because I didn't connect the domain earlier, and I don't want this to extend too long because it's already a little late. What we'll do is we'll do the same thing. We'll just create it as a blog post really quickly, and that way you can see it live. So I'm just going to copy and paste everything over because in Smart Directory, you can have blog posts out of the box. So I'm going to go down to Smart Directory AI. We're going to go back from settings, click on Smart Directory, and I'm going to go to branding. So I have to actually show my blog post in the header menu, which right now I'm not. So I'm going to go here. So I've got my blog post showing now. So if I refresh and I go to more, I can see blogs. And I can see these are listing and blog posts that come out of the box. You'd be able to replace those. So now I'm going to create a new blog post. So if I, oops, I'm right here. Menu, blog. Oh no, settings. Now I have to find the right thing. Sorry, this is going to take a sec here. I totally forgot that I hadn't connected the domain there. So if I go to let me go into edit here. Domain, oh, content, that would help. All right. So the thing with blog posts is the actual users can create them. So I'm trying to think of a way that I can add it here quickly without creating a business. But I think I might have to do that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to use Mayfield Dental because they have a premium listing. So I'm not going to actually create this. But if I were to click new blog, I'm going to do that. I would have the exact same kind of structure, and I could copy and paste it in there. So what I don't want to do is give them a blog post about how to select the best roofer. So I will have to connect my domain if I want to add this page at the bottom there. So that's unfortunate. I was really hoping to show that today, because that would round out our SEO. So instead, let's go ahead and finish this off. We're going to add, yeah. Oh, let's finish this off. The other thing that I want to show you is if there's a page that's not yet listed. So let's say you have a specific business that their page is listed on your site. So let's go to construction. Let's say Vertical Solutions Roofing. Their page is not indexed. Let me show you how to do that really quickly, and then we will be good to go. So if you go to the page, you copy the URL, then you go to your index pages, and so I'm in Google Search Console again. I can see, again, it's only showing through November 21st, and it's showing that only one page is indexed. We know that's not true, but if I paste the URL in here, in this top little bar at the top, and then I hit enter, it's going to tell me whether or not it's indexed. So in this case, it's already indexed, and it's saying specifically that it found it through the sitemap, which we submitted, and that it found it on November 28th. So it just hasn't updated in telling us. But I would be able to test the live URL, make sure it's working, and then request indexing. And I can hit that again, it's already there. It's just going to tell me that it can be indexed. Even though it's already indexed, it's not going to hurt anything. So let's let that take its little time. All right, so indexing requested. Again, it's already there, but this is something that you would do, again, if you made a big change as well. But that's everything, and if you have your guide up, so like I said, I should have connected my domain there. That's my fault for not doing that beforehand. But if you have your guide up, then it's going to be a really, really helpful process to get more both Google traffic and like ChatGPT, any kind of agentic traffic, any kind of LLMs. So do all of those things and you can get a lot better results. As you can see, even our site, without really being up for long, we're already appearing really well and getting some decent amount of traffic, and it says that none of this is indexed. All right, thank y'all. Have a good one. That's all for now.